Okay, welcome back to another video. I apologise for the backdrop in this one. It's clearly someone's birthday and they've ruined my recording space. Yeah, not gonna be as brilliant with this one, but oh well. We've got the Naim Muso QB2 here. A bit of a mouthful, also quite hard to remember when you're looking it up. But this is a £800 like Wi-Fi home speaker. By Naim. I've never really heard of them, but then having read in their brochure thing, they do speakers for Princess yachts and Bentleys as well, so they're clearly quite upmarket. You're like a Bowers and Wilkins type thing, which we'll probably be comparing this speaker to in another video afterwards as well. It's a nice cube design. I don't know if you can see from the side of the camera here on the side, but it's like almost a wave effect. So yeah, and it's got that on every side, which is quite nice. It's a nice design. Obviously very boxy, but that's the point, I guess. We've got power at the back, Ethernet even for Wi-Fi, obviously, USB, optical, and an aux port. So we've got pretty much all the inputs you might need on this. Also, comes with a remote. I was actually told in the shop I bought this that the remote isn't very good and sometimes doesn't work. So I guess we can test that now. One second. There we go. So I've retried it with the power on, and by the way, it does help. So that is on. It's doing something now. You can see it's got the little light up Naim logo at the bottom left there as well. Kind of like a mirror effect around the bottom. It's a very nice design. I honestly do really like it, and I love the touch button on the top. It's like just that circle's got 15 touch buttons on it, and they kind of change depending on what mode you're in and what you're doing with it. So you've got these at the moment, but then if you press this, you get more come up along the bottom, which is choosing your input, and you can set favorites for songs or radios and stuff like that. And then when a song is playing, you get skip buttons either side as well. So it's like a constantly changing touchscreen, which is really cool because that is well, as far as I'm concerned anyway, that's a very unique feature. I haven't really seen much to the likes of that with anything else. So yeah, I do quite like that. I'm going to just get the app set up now and show you what that's like. So it's a fairly simple app. It basically just lets you choose the same things you can from the touchscreen on the top. If you choose Spotify, it will open Spotify and you can browse that way. You can choose your input and you can change your presets manually and stuff like that. But yeah, that's not what's really important here, to be honest, because this is a very basic app. It did a software update, which is nice, but realistically there isn't a whole lot to change on here. But that's what's so brilliant about that touchscreen on the top, is that you can do most of what you need to do from there. And yeah, I haven't had any problems with this remote, actually, to be fair, so far. It's working good for volume, working good for power. So yeah, I'm not sure. Like I said, the guy in the store told me that the remote sometimes doesn't work for him, but he might have a faulty one because mine's working fine. I've got this playing through AirPlay at the moment as well, which is cool. So if you've got an iPhone, then it can do that instead of Bluetooth, which is going to give you a slightly better signal as it's going through Wi-Fi. So yeah, we talked about the design. Talked about some of the features, and now I'm going to give you a sound test of the same song but at a proper volume, and then we can talk about that at the end.
I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Don't stand 'cause the flames won't burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. You meant the world to me. I'm in pain, you hide and disappear like shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere. Yeah. I prayed for you and kept you near in hopes you'd chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares. I used to run with you through the great big things.
Okay. As with all of these, I'm not entirely sure how that came out from your end, but when I first got this speaker, I was a bit up and down. Obviously, it's got a hefty price tag on it, so I didn't know if it was necessarily worth it. But after doing the software update and stuff like that, which I do think actually has made a difference to the sound signature, I'm quite keen on it. The design is obviously amazing, and that makes for a lot of this speaker really, because it's stunning in whatever room you put it in. It's got the lights at the bottom, like the mirrors. It doesn't even look like a speaker, and also it's very good at almost projecting a 360 sound. It's got there's got a solid panel at the back, so maybe not at the back, but it gives you a good 180 degree of sound, all the way out the front, sides as well. And you almost have to look around for a bit and wonder where the sound's coming from, which is obviously like things like the JBL party boxes make a massive statement as to where they are, but it blends in with the corner of a kitchen, and it looks very nice, and it sounds actually very good. The bass this is in standard EQ and everything, by the way. I haven't messed with anything, but the bass is maybe not as strong as I would like it to be. I think for the volume that the Duvialet Mania put out, the bass was actually stronger on that comparatively. But the sound quality on this is insane, and it's the design that makes up for it. And those controls on the top, they might look confusing, but they're really nice to use. They're really intuitive. They just work. And the spinny circle bit is awesome. It's and you get lights going around as the volume goes up. And then and it's the really nice controls, really nice everything, and the design really does make for a lot of this speaker. It's again the big question with all of these is it worth 800 quid? And it really depends, obviously, how much money you've got. But sound wise, if we're going just off sound, then not for me. It's not as loud as as a lot of other things for the price, and the bass isn't quite there. But when you pair it with the materials used, the build quality, the look of it, just the little features like the lights on the Naim and the touchscreen panel thing at the top, I would say if you've got the cash, this is a brilliant home speaker to have. It's also nice to have the Ethernet capabilities and the AirPlay, and I'm sure it can do some like Google Assistant type things. It's got a little mic at the back. It's a great all-rounder, and you are getting some brilliant sound out of this. If you're after sound only, then you can pick up a JBL Party Box 710 for 650 quid, and that's a no-brainer. Which sound is better? But for everything else you get with this and the package as a whole, then I honestly would say it's a good speaker, and I didn't expect to, because normally I don't like these big, like the B&W and B&O ones. I don't like the fact that you're paying for the brand, but with this one I feel like you're less paying for the brand. You are actually paying for the quality of the materials and the time put in, and the fluidness of the software and stuff like that. So I'm actually quite impressed with it, and I actually have once I first picked it up, and all I did was listen to it, and I thought, but when you get to use it as a package and use it every day, and play with those controls a bit, and this remote has worked fine for me, and all of that stuff put together, I think it's a great package, and no one would be disappointed with this. I know they do a Muso something or other, like the longer, flatter one, which I might be getting at some point. But this is no one would be disappointed with this, and the sound is actually very impressive in a room like this, especially. It really is quite powerful. So if you've got any comments, throw them down in the comments, obviously, and I will try my best to get back to them.